Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mishumaa Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, 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 peace. And welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. I am your host, Mishumaa Saba, M. Saba. This is our Cultural Variety Podcast. How y'all doing today? Peace, peace, peace. Greetings, 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 and gratitude. No doubt. Hey, y'all know what it is. It's Monday. Oh, no, it's not Monday. It's Sunday, right? It is Sunday, and I should know that because football was on. December 11th, 2022. And, I be getting my days mixed up, man. I work a lot of times, most times overnight. So, I get my days mixed up. But other than that, it is Sunday. So football Sunday. I don't know how I really feel about football anymore. You know what I'm saying? I watch the games, but honestly, I don't have that same enthusiasm. I don't have that same happiness to get up on a Sunday morning and watch every sports show until kickoff. Give me one moment. I just don't have that desire. I kind of lost that desire some years ago, man, back when the Kaepernick stuff was going on. After that whole shebang, I got disagreements with it. And the corporate side of the NFL is just something I don't agree with. But, when I do see it, I'll chime in, but I don't get it. As a youngster, I used to get to watch Terry and Howie and the boys and all that, and then turn the channel and watch Boomer Kozar or whatever his name was, talk about the game and all that. And I just don't really care for sports like that no more. It's cool. But I play more sports on the PlayStations nowadays. You know what I mean? I do. I play more of my sports on video games than I actually do watch it. I'm not even big on I'm not even big on the NBA like I used to. When I was coming up, I was a big fan of, Dr. J, 76ers, Philly. Georgetown, UNLV, the Gophers, Chicago Bulls. And I used to love basketball. I mean, I used to watch everything, but now I can watch the highlights and feel just as good as if I've watched the game. But yeah, that's just what it is, man. But we got a great show lined up for tonight. And because it's Sunday, you're going to get to see Grown Folks Social Hour. So you're going to get more of my personality and my guest's personality along with the show. Because this is a time when we get to be us, is on the weekend. So make sure you check out Coffee Talk Podcast on the weekends. I'm not saying that our characters change up, but in the same breath, our characters change up just like anybody's in the world. You go from working a job, you got to change into that character. And then when you come home, you got to change it to another character. You know what I'm saying? So with the podcast, the way the podcast is set up, this is a cultural variety podcast show, right? So we got a different audience base for 3 days a week because we actually appear 3 days a week. And so Mondays is our cultural studies night. That's what we like to call it here. And what we do on Mondays is we like to go ahead and read a paragraph of a book or something like that. We like to give props to our authors, our doctors, our scholars, our lawyers, and our people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we call Cultural Studies Night, because our culture is very broad. On Wednesdays is our sports edition. Now, we're not like any other sports show. We don't even care who won or lost the game. That's what I'm saying. We ain't really digging sports like that. So we don't care who won or lost the game. What we like to do is we like to talk about the different intricacies that's going on behind the scenes in the sports that got to do with our people. You know what I'm saying? And then Friday and Saturday is the social hour. That's what I'm talking about now. That's where we get to relax a little bit. We get to talk like we talk when we talk how we talk. You know what I'm saying? Y'all feel me? That's all I'm saying. But yes, welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast. And as I said, I am your host, Mishumaa Saba. Tonight, we got a great show lined up. We got Brother Lael coming back tonight. And I just saw him in the studio. He stepped out. Okay, there he is. He's going to be popping in a second here. And so this is what I want to say for any new viewers that are just popping in. We never start the show without giving it its flavor and its wise words. That's just how we do it. We got to put the cream in the coffee. You know how we do, right? All right, so today's flavor is this, because we're in the Twin Cities. And it's real icy out here right now. We call it black ice. That's where people fall down on the concrete, on the sidewalks, whatever. They hit the concrete, they break their hips, whatever. It's called black ice here in the Twin Cities. So it's real slippery out there. It's warm, but it's real icy. You know what I'm saying? And so tonight's flavor is rum chata. Why rum chata? Because rum chata, with rum chata, it's a great coffee, first of all, or it's a rum mixed with a coffee topped with whipped cream. So I'll take the great part out. I messed up on my script. But rum chata is a very nice rum that you mix with your coffee, sprinkle some a little bit of sliced almonds on top of some whipped cream, and it makes for a wonderful night. It's very smooth, hot or warm, and it goes down real nice. And it's real good with a hemp blunt or with a hookah. So definitely check that out. Go ahead and try out rum chata mixed with some coffee at night. And grab you a nice hemp blunt or a hookah. That's how you do it, right? Right? I do it. What are you talking about? That's how I do it. All right. Now, next, our wise words for tonight. Our wise words come from somebody from the Twin Cities. But he's not just the Twin Cities. Yes, he's our son. The greatest musician of all time. I would say that. Let me know. Put it in the comments if you think this person is not. I said musician. I didn't say entertainer. I said musician. But these wise words come from a brother from the Twin Cities. He's internationally known, one of the greatest musicians of all time. His name is Prince. I know some of y'all have heard of him. Some of y'all may not have. Prince is a legend. I know you've heard of Prince. No doubt. All right. So today's wise words is this. These are Prince's words. These ain't my words. I know how we get down at Coffee Talk Podcast. All right. Tonight's words by Prince. I have written a song that says, if you ever lose someone dear to you, never say the words, they're gone and they'll come back. I'm going to say it one more time. Prince said, I have written a song that says, if you ever lose someone dear to you, never say the words, they're gone and they'll come back. That is the wise words tonight here at Coffee Talk Podcast. I know other than Prince. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Brother Lael in here, man. We about to have a good time, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast. We see y'all. Go ahead and let us know that you here, though. Leave a comment, hit the like button, share the video. Call your homies up right now. Talk about, hey, man, I told them niggas they got Coffee Talk. I told them niggas y'all better tune in and see Coffee Talk tonight. We definitely appreciate the support and the love. I'm going to go ahead and bring Brother Lael in here, man. We're going to get the show started. How about that? Peace, King. How you doing?
Great. How you doing this evening, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. Let me go ahead and kill the logo. I got the logo up in the upper right corner, and I want to make sure that we can see you. You know, give me one moment. I'm gonna kick this company's ass, man. They've been having little glitches tonight. Actually, you know what? I can see you well. We can see you well. But man, good evening, man. Good evening. How was your day, man?
It was a day, man. It was a day.
Oh yeah, that's
It was a
what's up.
day.
All right. Well, as a brother to another, I'm sending you positive energy. How about that?
Right on back at you, brother. And it's everybody else, their positive energy was cracking.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey man, we talking entertainment news tonight, man. Deion Sanders, Teofimo Lopez, Terrence Crawford, Brittany Griner. I want to start with Deion Sanders. Talk to me. What's your thoughts on that?
Um, I think it's a great move for him. You know what I'm saying? I know perception in our neighborhood is more or less like he sold out and all the rest of that. And I don't feel like the man sold out. I feel like he did what most people do. He evolved. You know what I'm saying? It's really bad to say that, you know, our black, colleges football programs are less than stellar.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, at the end of the day, like I was saying on the homies post, like I don't feel like it was a step back because he went to a quote unquote major white college. I think like if Eddie Robinson, who was at Grambling all those many years, I think that if he had the opportunity to move up and do bigger and better things, I think that he would have.
Yeah.
Like when Eddie Robinson was really relevant and was competitive. There was no Rooney Rule in the NBA. I mean, sorry, in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So there was no black head coaches, none.
No,
There was
no,
barely black quarterbacks.
no doubt. Let me ask this question. Do you think that in our community we throw around the word sellout too loosely? What's your thoughts on that?
I would say so. I would say so, but I'm going to contradict myself. I don't think that we use it in the right context or
There
or with the right situations. I think that like if like somebody on the corner disappointed you or something like that, however that went, sell out. But like when you have a person that's who's been like parasiting off the neighborhood for years, doing whatever negative shit they do, people give them a pass and
Mhm.
they turn a blind eye to that, and they're nothing but sellouts. They might even be working with the police, and everybody knows it, but because they're cool or they come from a well-known family, what I'm saying, it's kind of like look past.
Right, no doubt, no doubt. No, I really understand that. Uh, our ancestors spoke about people like that too, man. You know what I'm saying? And and
Mm-hmm.
and and what's the technology of it is that they're they're hide it behind, I changed. And everybody may have changed, and that's cool because that's part of growth. You're supposed to. But it comes a time when how I want to say this. I think you need to worry about your community before you um, mix with anybody else or even accept anything by somebody. If you follow me with that, because once you start to accept certain things, then them people can control you that gave you that gift. And for my viewers, remember I just said that because tonight we got chapter 5 of the 48 Laws of Power, and there's something that's going to be in that story that's going to pertain back to what I just said. So you viewers definitely stay tuned to that, and it'll make more sense. But yeah, I think our people throw the word sellout out too is just too loosely, man. Anytime a
Mm-hmm.
brother do something, he's a sellout. But in my sense, because I don't want to drift off, I want to stay on subject. With Deion did a good move. I mean, you were making 6 figures at Jackson State, and you had an opportunity to take 5. Now, if we just stopped there, that would sound like a debatable. Oh, he sold out. He sold out. No, he's feeding his family, and that's what a man's supposed to do. So he
Right,
didn't.
exactly.
he didn't sell out. But then I want to touch each base. Then some of them say, well, what about him being for the kids? Now, mind you, he done took this program. He was there 3 years, won back-to-back Celebration Bowl championships, which is like the NCAA bowls, the Sugar Bowl or whatever. And he gave you 3 years. That doesn't mean he's not going to stop teaching. Because every teacher teaches. It doesn't matter what the color is. And I think we need to get off that as a people when it comes to, look, truth is truth and lies is lies. And that's what it's about. It ain't about how what a brother said, how he said it. Truth is truth and lies is lies. So being that Dion always speaks the truth to these kids, he's going to be able to impact them. He's going to be able to impact them wherever he goes. Here's a question I want to ask about the HBCUs, because as we know, we heard that they've been stealing some money. Here's my question. Bill William Clinton, our jazz playing president, the one that used to get head from Monica Lewinsky, allegedly. He gave money to HBCUs. He absolutely did. Let's go to the next president. After him, it was who? It was wasn't it another Democrat? I believe
nope, it was W.
Oh, it was W. I don't know if W gave any money, but after W, it was Obama. Now I do recall Obama sending some money over to HBCU. Now let's go to the next president. The next president, Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe. He also gave money during his campaign to HBCUs. So my question to you and to the viewers is, man, where the money going, man? They shouldn't have no poor locker facilities and those type of things, probably even small classrooms, libraries. Talk to me.
Well, I'll just say this. Bill Cosby was pumping money into the HBCUs for years. And I've been on a couple campuses, and I actually went to Grambling for a very short time. And for that place to have the notoriety that it has, it's crazy. It's like going to like the Cabrini Green back in the 70s and 80s, man. When you look at the facilities it was like the Good Times building, like straight up and down, not working elevators, crazy ass wasps. I mean, all kinds of this shit like in a third world country.
That's crazy. Hey, they're saying that is the alumni has the alumni got too bourgeois? I know the bourgeois has been around for many centuries, but like, hey, they was exposed, man. They're not giving back money. I forgot. I just heard the percentage where there was like somewhere like less than 10% of the alumni is giving money back to HBCUs. I think that's concerning. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh man, basically, man, I mean, like when you put a lot of people in position of power, humans are humans. I would say like, when you get a bunch of black folks together, they do. But when you get a bunch of humans together, they start to steal.
Mm-hmm.
And they start to line their pockets. It starts out with, like lightweight stealing to like heavy duty industrial blue collar thievery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that to be the case in this situation, but I do know, like when you look at the city of New Orleans that had black mayors for decades, a lot of stealing and a lot of graft took place. You look at what went down in, Detroit. That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we emulate, white people, and we don't get the same sentences as white people. Kwame Kilpatrick was broke. They broke that man smooth off.
Man, I was just writing his name down, man. I got to salute the general, man, because one thing, that brother didn't never snitch. He took it on the chin. Hey, man, he's free, man. So anytime a black man gets free from the belly of the beast, we're going to give him props here because, that's just how we roll at Coffee Talk Podcast. Salute to God, Kwame Kilpatrick. being free, man. And I'm looking forward to going on YouTube now that we brought his name up and see if he's out here talking about anything or his experience. You know, that's how you judge a man. You can judge a man through body language because, you know, regular verbal communication is only 30% of the language, and most of it's body language, you know. 70% of his body language. So I want to see where he's coming from. Did they get to him? Did they MK12 his ass, or MK, what is it? MK 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever the fuck they call it. But did they get to him, or is he just, you know, is he out the belly? So, you know, we're gonna tip our hats to him for now. Yeah, so Deion's going to Colorado, man. Do you think he can win there?
I don't know. I just know that, you know, if he doesn't produce, his tenure is going to be short. So, you know, it's a business.
I think he's gonna be in the NFL. He's needed because one of the things fans tend to forget, especially diehard NFL fans, is that these kids are younger. Yeah, you still see Captain Super America in Tampa, Tom Brady, and some of those old names, you know, those old historical names that are still playing. But a lot of these kids is young, man, and you need Deion Sanders type dudes that can motivate these kids, that these kids look up to and willing to listen to. You know, I think Deion's great. All he's doing is carrying the mantle of Eddie Robinson, what was our brother's name? That was the black head coach at the Raiders. I didn't do my homework. You remember him?
Art Shell.
Art Shell. Come on, man. We had some great coaches. So
Dennis Green.
Dennis Green, the great Dennis Green. Where did he go? 15-2 with the Vikings, and they missed a field goal from 20 yards out.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the work. No, I wasn't in the workhouse. I've never been in the workhouse. Don't get me the line. I was down at City Hall. I was down at the annex. I was down at the annex when the kicker missed the field goal. Anybody watching the annex, that's just a little, 1 or 2 day jail, depending on if you go in on the weekends. That was in my younger years, people. Don't stone me, all right? I can't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat pork, and I like women. So, no, I can't go to jail. If I go to jail, it's going to be worth it. All right, so let's go ahead and move right along, man. You watch boxing this week?
I caught the highlights of the Terrence Crawford joint, you know, and
no doubt,
it was cool. It was cool. I was more interested in, who put on the promotion, and it wasn't like the regular people. It wasn't Eddie Hearn, it wasn't Bob Arum, it wasn't Floyd's dude. I can't think of his name. Man, what's that dude's name, man?
Heyman, Al Heyman.
Al Heyman, yeah.
Right.
I think it was a Black Stars or Black somebody another, and they just signed Adrian Broner. So hopefully,
I don't mean to interrupt, King, but I saw the god Zab Judah. Does he have something to do with that?
I'm not sure. I said, yeah, I need to look into that. I mean, because I was like hearing that they had signed what's his face, Adrian Broner.
Okay.
And the fight that I saw, well, the highlights from, like, they actually put somebody in front of Crawford who was competitive. So I mean, I think that bodes well. Maybe they might have some success, and really, hopefully, I hope a black person really owns black, whatever the hell they going to call it. So
right, the promotional company, no doubt. I'm with you. Yeah. One of my favorite podcasts, Blue Blood Sports TV podcast on YouTube. The brother Blue was talking about that, and I think he and some of his friends even have something to do with that. I think it's called BLK Sports or something like that. The promotional company behind Crawford. But yeah, I would love to see us back in there with some other brothers. You know what I'm saying? We missed the Don Kings. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has their viewpoint if they like Don King, if they don't. But Don King put a lot of people in the Hall of Fame. Don King made a lot of people rich, man. That was real poor. You know what I'm saying? So much shout out to Don King. We'll do another podcast on him. We did one in the past last year, but I think we should do another one. just on his business astute. You know, he was definitely a businessman. He knew how to get money. He knew how to organize, and he knew how to bring the people together and spend that money. So we're going to definitely talk about Don King. But yeah, it's good to see some more black promotions starting to enter in the boxing, other than, you know, Mayweather and all that. And no diss to Mayweather, because I think he's one of the greatest. I was just thinking this earlier. I don't know who all my Mount Rushmore is. Some people say you need 4. And so with 4, I can't go back to dudes that played really in the 70s and all that. Is it unfair? Perhaps, maybe, whatever. I only can go by what I see, though. And so with my Mount Rushmore, I got 2. I got 2 right now. And that is Deion Sanders. I think Deion Sanders is probably one of the top 10 football players to ever play the game. Top 10 and out of 100. I mean, this dude was a shutdown corner. Yeah, he couldn't, do all the tackles, but 70-80% of the game, nobody's throwing over there. Great career, as you know, with the Braves and then the Yankees, and then would get off the plane and fly to San Francisco. And then he was a 49er and then became a Cowboy. And I don't like to say I'm a Cowboys fan anymore, but I am. But I don't like it. I don't like that I'm a fan. Talk to me. What's your thoughts on Deion, man? Let's stay with Deion for a minute. What's your thoughts on Deion?
I think he was a very you could never say he was overrated. I mean, I feel like he really got his just due as far as salary is concerned for the age that he was in. And I like seeing people do what they want to do, and primarily that man did what he wanted to do.
Absolutely, man.
He wanted to make a record. He made a record. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted to play baseball. He played baseball, and I think he ended up playing in the Super Bowl and the World Series the same year. Something like that.
Oh yeah, the
I
brothers
think so.
2 rings in 2 different sports. Unbelievable.
I mean, like, players that could go both ways back then were like very rare.
Yeah, very.
Like Bo Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Jackson was cold. I mean, shit,
Yeah,
he got it in.
definitely. And then one of our own hometown legends, Dave Winfield as well. I mean,
Oh yeah.
before the technology, the big cameras. This kid was a first-round draft pick in baseball, football, and basketball. I mean, that is crazy. Hey, if anybody's out there watching and you are into productions, directing, or you make movies, I'm going to go ahead and give this free jewel up. Go ahead and make a Dave Winfield movie. I think it would sell. I think it would be inspiring. And man, just a dude that would have good grades in school and then go out there and dominate in 3 different sports. That's a great Disney movie, if not anything. I don't want to give the props to Disney, no disrespect to Disney either, but some of our brothers, our black brothers that are into making more movies, man. We don't have to keep making thug movies, man. You hear me? We ain't got to keep glorifying the neighborhood. Somebody said, I think it was Kanye, that said he's sick and tired of the slave movies, because as you know, we was here before 1619. So we need to start showing more movies that are positive, and we ain't got to go that far back for right now, just for this subject that I'm talking, even though that's important too. But there's some great movies that can be made of some of the great athletes, doctors, scholars, and whatnot, our people, man. So that's all I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying. All right, so listen, man. Just going back though, speaking of the fight, Teofimo Lopez fought last night, and he fought a brother by the name of Sandor Martin. And as many may recall, Sandor Martin fought Mikey Garcia, and he actually put Mikey Garcia in retirement. Now, who's Mikey Garcia? For those that may not know, he's the dude that fought Errol Spence. He had moved up in weight and took on that challenge. Errol Spence beat him up good. Um, but anyway, Tefalimo Lopez once held the lightweight IBF, WBA, WBA titles before losing to Kambosos. And Kambosos damn near killed the man from so many liver punches. You know what I mean? But last night, Teflafimo came in to fight Sandor Martin. Teflafimo is 18-1. His only loss was to Kambosos. He also had 13 knockouts. But he fought at weight 147, so he's actually moving up. He fought Sandor Martin. And did you see the highlights on that, King?
No, I didn't catch that. I really don't follow Lopez. I mean, he has some really foul shit to say about Deontay Wilder and things. So that's what my dude. I was like, man, I can't fuck with you, cause his mindset's real, like, really fucked up. And dare I say, the way he was talking about brothers to a certain degree, I didn't really feel that neither. So
no
yeah.
doubt, no doubt. But yeah, man, I checked it out, man. I didn't watch the fight. I watched the highlights this morning. But the brother, he got knocked down. And here's what's crazy. So I was getting ready for work, and I saw like the first round or two. I mean, it was like the second round. And again, speaking of body language, the body language of this kid, he just didn't look right. He didn't look right. Sandor Martin didn't have no reason to come in there scared. He's coming off of a victory with Mikey Garcia, and he's just trying to move up the ladder, But Teofimo, because he damn near fucking died in that last fight with Kambosos from the shots he was taking. I think Kambosos took some of that man's life, kind of like when Porter and who was that dude that fought? Keith Thurman fought. And Porter just stole a little bit of Keith Thurman in that fight. You could take a man's life, you fight him 12 rounds, and you hit on him so much, he might not be the same. But so yeah, Tefalimo didn't look good. The reports were he got knocked down last night, and then it was a unanimous decision. But they say it was janky, though. They say that the boy Sandor Martin beat Teofimo last night. And I'm not surprised by that.
Well, I mean, Lopez is with the machine. He's with Aaron, probably. So what that means is, like, he's going to get them questionable decisions. You got to knock somebody like him smooth out, or straight up and down outclass him. That's why that's why he's not messing with Haney. That's why he's not messing with Shakur. And he can talk about Tank all he wants. He does not want none of that, man. Like, he cannot beat like a premium fighter. He can't beat an A+ fighter. He's competitive with a B+, probably B A-, but like the cream of the crop in that weight division, he's nowhere close. They're pushing him.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he's fighting at 147 right now. Sandor Martin's in that division, who should have won last night. Regis Porteous, the champion, he's in that division. There's a lot of heads at 147, man. And I mean, it's just one more fight before Haney's up there. I think Haney's going to 140. He'll go to 140 next. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think the brother has the confidence. But shout out to Teofimo Lopez, man. Get it together, brother. Get it together. That's all we're going to say as far as Coffee Talk Podcast, man. Get it together, man, if he's trying to stay competitive. It's a gladiator sport. All right, listen. Next fight last night, though. We had two fights last night. The other fight was your boy Terrence Bud Crawford out of Nebraska. He entered the ring last night, 38-0, man. 38-0 with 29 knockouts. He was fighting a dude by the name of David Anavesian. And David Anavesian is just coming off of a win. And here, I want to say this, and I'm going to let you take it. Tank said to Bud on a was that TikTok or one of those little social media sites, he said that Terrence Crawford was fighting a sparring partner. Talk to me. What's your thought? You saw the highlight.
Man. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. The dude wasn't a bum. He's not a household name, but you got to give Crawford, the props for doing the smart thing of not taking an Errol Spence fight with 13 months out the ring. Why would you go fight an apex boxer with rust? No, you don't do that unless you want to be, unless you want to get your ass whooped.
Hmm.
Only Ali and Sugar Ray did shit like that. These era, they're not cut like that. They can't do shit like that.
Mm. Man, I got a different viewpoint from the highlights I saw. Bud looked spectacular last night. He looked spectacular. Couple of the fighters had said it looked boring when I was looking at what other fighters started the fight, and that was really just David Benavidez's dad, and he be hating on everybody, but he looked strong, man. Crawford looked strong, and even though he's been out the ring for 13 months, you got to understand he was training for a November 19th fight with Spence. So them boys was already training for that fight before they lost the fight. So that's why he looked spectacular like last night. He looked like he was ready. Man, well, anyway, he catches this kid, David, man, with an uppercut and then a hook to dry beam. The dry beam, and it was over. It was over quick. Somebody put in the comments what round it was. I want to say it was between 4 and 6. Somebody let us know here at Coffee Talk Podcast what round David Anaviason got knocked out by Bud last night. I even seen Bud walk over there and try to pick him up. I'm just saying. What's your thoughts on the Nebraska dude, man? Who you got, him or Earl?
I'm gonna go with Crawford.
In a
I'm gonna
50
go with Crawford.
in a 50-50 fight, huh? Okay. What?
I don't know if it's 50-50. I say like it's like maybe about 70-30, 60-40.
Okay. Talk
Yeah,
to
I'm
me.
gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. My man, I mean, like, this is dude's second accident that he just got in, second car accident. That takes time out your career, miscellaneous shit like that, And the
Yeah.
first accident was bad, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And for me, I haven't seen him in a grueling fight since that happened. So, I mean, you
What
don't know if he's all there.
what about the you guys fight? He beat you guys so bad, man. Broke both of his
I
eyes.
mean, man, come on, man. Who
Ooh,
is he?
he beat Pacquiao.
Pacquiao was an old man.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking of Pacquiao, Pacquiao just did a little charity event the other night.
Hmm.
He's getting money like Money Mayweather. What do you think about them charity fights, man? Talk to me.
Those exhibitions, hey, get money. I don't have no problem with them, but I'm not paying for that.
Right, no doubt.
Get money. I'm not mad at you.
Get money, man. That's what it is. I do want to see him knock out Logan Paul, though, man. I'm sick of the kid, man.
Man, I mean, it's like once I seen what went down with him and Silva, I knew that shit's fake. I'm good. It ain't even worth even watching highlights or really. I mean, I watched, what was that, WWE, WWF, whatever the fuck it's called now. I watched wrestling before I watched that.
Yeah, man. I don't like the Jake Paul dude, mainly because the brothers keep losing to him, man. And I don't know if is it that I'm biased. I mean, I know that he's not a professional boxer, but he trains, and reports have been, because I don't want people to think, oh, you guys are racist. No, we're not racist at all, man. We just love the sport and we love to be true. We some true heads, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Jake Paul, man, there's been reports that brothers be signing a contract to take the L. And I think I got
Got
too.
to.
I
Got
can't
to.
take no L for the bag, man. I don't know, man. You taking an L for the bag?
Well, it's not. Well, here's what it is. It's not an official L because it's exhibition.
Your
You
kids?
got a paycheck, and yeah, it's not a part of your official record. I'm not advocating laying down for nothing or nobody, but I mean, I think it's really weak exhibition. Like when they talk about Floyd and Manny squabbing, that needs to be official. That should not be no exhibition. That needs to be official. Like Tyson and Roy Jones, that's exhibition because we know Mike
Mhm.
Tyson would kill Roy Jones.
That would have been a great fight back then, though.
No, it wasn't. That Tyson was too big for him. Too fast. Very
Who?
bad mismatch. They matched Roy Jones right with who they did. The Puerto Rican. What's that nigga's name?
He fought for that heavyweight title.
John Ruiz,
Yeah,
and he
John.
beat his ass.
Yeah, yeah. That was a
But
good.
that did ruin his career though, because you can't. There's two things that fucked him up. That movie. Anytime a active boxer does a movie, they get their ass knocked out. Starting with Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, and Roy Jones Jr. Every time you're active and you come back, you get your ass whooped. Lennox Lewis did Oceans 10 or 11 or something like that. Hassan Rahman tore his ass up.
That's funny, man. That's funny. What movie was it, man? What movie was it?
That was Oceans 11.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Ali did the Ali story, and Leon Spinks tore his ass up.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Roy Jones did the Matrix, and what's that dude's name? Antonio Tarver knocked his ass out.
Damn, Roy did the Matrix. What character would he play? What did he do?
He was running around on on the submarine shit. I mean, yeah, he was
One,
on the ship.
one of the villains.
No, he was a good guy.
Okay, I don't have to check
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen that shit. You know what? I've never saw Matrix all the way through, man. I done heard some good reviews about all of the Matrix, man. And I'm a critical thinker, and man, I probably would like it, but I've never really got into it because it seems like it's a long ass movie, and I'm not into
It
long
is.
movies.
It
Yes,
is.
that's my turn off. I thought it was me. I thought I was biased, but yeah, I just don't like long ass movies. You ever been on a date when we were younger, and you saved your $5-10? That's how young we were, and we would go to one of those movies for $4.50, and you would get into the theater, and your ass would fall asleep, and she'd cut you out because you fell asleep. That's some
Yeah,
selfish.
yeah.
That's some selfish shit. Like, why the fuck I can't fall asleep? You fell asleep in the movie. I knew you was gonna do that. She wouldn't talk to you for the rest of the week. All right, but listen, man, we're moving right along. Listen, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. Thank you for being here. We got a ways to go. It's an hour show tonight. We're only at the 42 mark. But we got a great show. Like I said, we got a great show lined up. We're going to talk about Brittany Griner real quick. We're going to talk about the genuine reels, and then we're going to get into presidential elections. And then we got a little something for you. So we're going to definitely do that. Let's go ahead and talk about, they call her BG now. And you know what? I don't like that fact that they calling this girl Brittany Griner BG, because the real BG just got out of jail. So it kind of takes away from the God getting celebrated to be free. Everybody's calling this chick BG. So, but anyway, Brittany Griner's in the news. She was free from Russia, the Soviet Union. They're not the Soviet Union no more, but they still Russia, whatever. And she was swapped. America did a prisoner swap with Russia, and so they gave Brittany Griner up for an arms dealer. Now, I want to ask you what your thoughts are on it, but I just want to say this before I do. Black people gotta have a fucking complaint about everything. They're so goddamn trendy, jumping on every goddamn news segment. I don't give a fuck if she got swapped with a fucking arms dealer. I don't give a fuck if the arms dealer goes back to Russia. I don't give a fuck that there's. Listen, excuse me. I saw a news segment where they was really pressing the president's administration. They was like, well, there's a guy named Paul. I don't know what Paul's name is. Peace to him, because again, we're not negative here. But Paul's another prisoner in Russia. And they're mad that Brittany got freed because she's an athlete, whatever, that all that distraction shit, right? And my point is, let's keep it real. The reason why the other motherfucker wasn't released could be because he might be a motherfucking spy. I mean, come on, we all watch espionage movies and shit. He might be a motherfucking spy. I don't give a fuck about that. Oh, no, he's not. He's a good, wholesome man. We don't fucking know. But they let this motherfucker Brittany Griner go.
This motherfucker. Well, yeah. Well, how I feel about it is it's like this, man. I think it was a weak move on the administration part by pandering to the homosexuals or the the LGBT whatever community. I mean, I feel like that's what that was all about.
Mm.
And I think it was I showed a sign of weakness. So all you brothers and sisters who got American passports, be careful, because now you're gonna be targets, because they're gonna start snatching motherfuckers and doing this shit like they was doing back in the '80s, holding motherfuckers hostages. But
Mm.
unless you can palm a basketball like Brittany Grinder, you're kind of worthless. So I mean, it sounds fucked up, but that's what it really is. I'm sorry, but she would have had to sit in that. She'd had to sit in that prison. I'm not giving up a spy arms dealer for a basketball player. That's not a good trade. And
And
and I've heard certain things about the Marine that he was on some fuckery. So I mean,
yeah.
it's like this though. I mean, come on, man. You gave up a dangerous person for a basketball player.
Well, that's what they say anyway. I don't get caught up in
Well, no,
that.
that's if he wasn't dangerous, he wouldn't have been in the penitentiary.
But listen, motherfucking America's arms dealers. So I'm not here to be, I'm not here to be one way or the other.
Okay, but all right, but see, let me break it down, because that's kind of like that apathetic, not dissing, but that's kind of like that apathetic view that I was talking to you about. It's
yeah.
like if I don't perceive that to affect me in the real time, it has nothing to do with me. But that is not the case. I mean, here's the thing: what it is, though. All right, we already dominated by white people already. Let's just keep that funky. We're dominated by Anglo-Saxon white people. That's who runs the show for us right now. Let's keep it funky. As much as I hate it, but that's the truth. I'm not trying to speak Chinese. I'm not trying to speak Russian. I'm not trying to be eating my dogs because they said, like, we do it, you do it too. You know what I'm saying? There's shit worse than what we got popping right here. And there's people, I mean, there's shit going on that, I mean, I'm not saying like fight for apple pie and mother and all the rest of that shit. I'm fighting. I'm not even saying I'm fighting. I would prefer that if I gotta fuck with some shit, is some shit that I know, and not some people that I know that really don't give a fuck more than the people that run shit now. So at the end of the day, um, we've been dealing with this shit for 400 years. I'm not trying to have a new motherfucker come in here and have me eating rodents and shit. I'm not with that.
Mm. All right, I got to say this first. I got to put out my disclaimer. Listen, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Coach and Variety Podcast Show, and we got viewers and supporters of all ethnic groups, and when our guests speak is their own personal opinions, right? So we got to definitely put out the disclaimer to protect the show. But here's my thoughts. I don't get concerned anymore about titles and all that. And what I mean by that is we can talk about a lot of different fears, but there has to be a time where we have to just say, look, this is what it is. So what I mean by that is this. Every motherfucking body's an arms dealer. What is an arms dealer? An arms dealer is a motherfucker that has a weapon or weapons that will sell that shit to the next man or country. That's it. So with that being the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge of it, I don't give a fuck one way or the other. America been fucking us over forever. And the fact that Russia, who ain't never did shit to me, I never seen them in my motherfucking neighborhood, right? That's not to give them a pass, but they ain't did shit to me. So with that knowledge of that, knowing what arms dealer is, I don't give a fuck if a dude goes home. What I do give a fuck about here at Coffee Talk Podcast is that this sister, whether I disagree or agree with her sexuality, that's not the point. I'm just happy that that sister's coming home. She's been in jail for 10 months. She's been away from her family that long, anyway, I should say. Whether wrong or right, they stated allegedly that she got caught, with the vape. She had some hashish or whatever in the vape, and she got caught. She has to take accountability for that. I'm not giving her no pass. I think that shit was silly, but at the same time, being we're gonna say this word tonight because we being us tonight. So I'm gonna be on this. Being a hood nigga, you know what I'm saying? I don't, we all might have made mistakes. We might have been high going through the airport one day, and your ass forgot that you had your weed pipe in the luggage. So I get it. I'm not gonna stone her for that, but she should have been more smarter. And so she has to accept the accountability for that. But again, here at Coffee Talk Podcast, I'm just happy that the sister's coming home. I don't give a fuck about arms dealers, none of that shit. Because if Russia do the same shit that America do, I don't never get into any in this time in my life. I don't never get caught up in any patriotism. You know what I mean? I know who is who. So I don't never go outside. I don't give a fuck if it make other people uncomfortable or what. We can all work together. That's one thing. But I know who's been my motherfucking enemy. I know who's been putting crack in our communities. I know who's been breaking up the black families. I know all of that. I don't give a fuck about an arms dealer going nowhere. That don't got shit to do with the struggles of our kids, our schools, the fact that we're lacking in some of these. And now I'm gonna say this too. We still have to take accountability too, y'all, because those same people that orchestrate us to, or that has fought with everybody in the world, right? Those same people that fought with everybody in the world. We still have to take accountability for ourselves, because I see more of us hurting each other than just those. They the big picture. I get it. But why the hell we can't never have some rules and build a foundation within our own community? So I just want to say that part. But yeah, man, it was an arms dealer, but yeah, whatever. Let's go ahead and go straight to this. Let's go to your boy Genuine. The dude has been making some reels on Facebook of him dancing. Now, Genuine is probably like 45, 50 years old. So he ain't got the steps like he did in the 90s when he took over the world with all his joints he had out and the women was loving him. But who do you think was the better dancer? Genuine, Omarion, Chris Brown, and Usher. I didn't put Michael Jackson in there because Michael Jackson is he's like a Michael Jordan Tupac. He's just up there. Who was the best dancer between Genuine, Omarion, Chris Brown, and Usher? Anybody watching the show, go ahead and put your vote in the comments. Go ahead and put your vote in the comments. Let us know who you think was the best dancer. And if you haven't seen the Genuine Reels on Facebook and TikTok, go check them out. They're funny as hell. I hate to say the word hell, but they're funny. And definitely check it out. Some old geezers still trying to do their dance moves. Go ahead and leave it in the comments who you think is the best dancer out of Chris Brown, Omarion, Genuine, and Usher. I have to say this, man. That boy Chris Brown, man. That brother can he got the dance moves. He remind me of Mike. So that's why I got to give him his props. And I don't mind talking about a man's dance moves, because you got super tough dudes out there like, oh, them dudes is talking about dance moves. We talking about dance moves because dancing has been part of our culture. I could think of James Brown, who was one of the dancingest brothers. I could think of Chuck Berry, one of the dancingest brothers. I could think of what's them tap dancers' names?
The Nicholas Brothers.
Nicholas Brothers. So for those of y'all that don't respect the art of dancing, we ain't on no lame shit. We're talking about in the 90s and the early 2000s. Who's the best dancer between Genuine, Omarion, Chris Brown, and your boy Usher? Talk to us. We gonna get back to that one.
Oh, you asking me about that? Oh, I mean,
who you think, man? Who you think?
Overall, Chris Brown is the better dancer out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this, like it's kind of like you're bridging different eras together. Like Genuine's from a whole different era. Usher kind of like comes on the tail end of Genuine situation, and the B2K niggas they got their, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, man. James Brown is the number one. Yeah, James Brown is the top as far as I'm concerned. As far as like the top performing dancing shit
No
like
doubt.
that.
You ever see the movie?
Yeah, I think the movie Chadwick Boseman was cold.
Yeah, that was a great movie, man. I really enjoyed it. I went and bought it back when we would all go buy. Remember when we used to buy DVDs, movie DVDs? So yeah, I went out and bought that, man. Great movie, great movie. All right, so moving right along. The election. Your boy 45 is back, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I also want to get your thoughts on Biden saying that he wants to rerun. I don't know if the Democratic Party is going to go with that. They may want to try to put out a different candidate out of their party.
If they want to win, they will.
Yeah, if they want to win, they will. They have to.
I
But
mean,
your boy 45 is coming back, man. What's your thoughts?
man, I think it's a gambit for him not to go to jail. I really don't think he's really running to win. So, which means he might win. So, I mean, so I don't know, man. It's just like if we pulled the kind of shit that he did, we would be in jail. I mean, like you got to put shit into context. Jesse Jackson Jr. used some of his campaign finance money to buy a Michael Jackson glove, and he ended up in the penitentiary. Trump bought some pussy with some campaign finance money and some hush money, and he's out here doing all kind of shit.
That's a trip, ain't it? That's a
like
trip.
Literally, my man spent a few $1,000s on Michael Jackson's glove and a hat and something else, some trivial shit. But you look at the cost of the investigations and the actual money that was spent to give Stormy Daniels that money for that trickery. I mean, they spent tens of millions of dollars to go after that dude for buying some pussy.
Right. No doubt.
And they locked this. They locked this. They locked this congressman up for buying a hat and a glove with some money that on the normal pretenses that money would got repaid, but they put his ass in jail. But it's something about Illinois and their politicians, they like to lock up.
Here's my thoughts, man. That I was thinking earlier when we was putting this script together about 45. First of all, I want to ask the viewers this. Please list it in the comments. But there was a story that they just caught him, 45, Trump, with tax invasion or something like that. So is that going to affect the election? My thoughts on it is this. How can, only in America, a man can get raided at Mar-a-Lago, get raided, get his shit took, find out he don't do taxes, find out he cheated taxes, basically hyped up.
Hold on. The worst, not to cut you off, the worst thing is being in debt to a foreign entity while you're in that public office. You should not be on foreign creditors, no billions of fucking dollars. You can't trust what this dude is on when he lied about that investment in that building in Russia. I mean, like, come on. I mean, you got to stand for something. I mean, like, we're on this team. We was born on this team. We got to ride for this motherfucking team. You know what I'm saying? What's the point of being American if you got Russians dictating what the fuck is going on? Or the Chinese because our president owes them a lot of fucking money.
Right. But see, that's again going back to what I had said earlier. I can't wrap my mind around that type of shit because that's not my president. That's the America's president. That's not my president. And I don't really give a fuck about him and what he owes another motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's kind of like if me and you went into the local bars and there was two men arguing about who owed who. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
But hold on though. I understand that, but this is on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
it's on a whole nother level.
I know
the president. Hold on, the person that's making the day-to-day decisions for what's cracking where our country is indebted to another foreign entity. That's not cool. Me and you can't get certain jobs if we owe child support, if we got outstanding child support, or if we got judgments from lawsuits and shit. There's certain jobs that won't even fuck with us. But the president of the United States owing money to a foreign entity that he did not disclose, that's a problem. What are you hiding?
You know what he's hiding? These motherfuckers hide shit. That's what they are. They some hiders. And that's why I don't give a fuck. Because listen, I don't give a fuck that he owes Russia when just the other day there was a black kid killed by the cop. You see what I'm saying? That's where we at. Fuck all that news shit. I don't care about Europeans going to war with each other. I don't care about other motherfuckers. And you know, I love all our melanated people. I love people. But I don't give a fuck about nobody going to war with one another when my people have our own motherfucking struggles with some of those motherfuckers that's going to war with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's not my president. I don't give a one fuck about a president. I don't. And it's funny because I've always been a firm voter. Since I was 18, I voted probably 20, you know, I don't know, we can break that down, 5 presidents. That's 20 years. 5 times 4, no, I've about 16 years. You know, what would that be? 8 presidents? So I've always voted when I could, once I turned 18. And as I continue to grow and I reflect, I was voting because I was told to vote. I was voting because grandma was a Democratic. I was voting because of that shit. But as I studied knowledge yourself, and you have to know your history. We were Republicans at one time. Now, again, as I stated in the show, those are just titles as we continue to do the knowledge. All that shit is just wordplay. And that's what a lot of people do. We argue over wordplay, not meaning that words, the same fucking word can mean there's 2 different ways to say a word, and we'll argue over wordplay. But that type of shit, titles and shit, that shit ain't nothing but wordplay. And I realized that parties don't mean shit. Republican and Democrat, them is the same motherfuckers, man. Them is the same motherfuckers. There ain't no separatism other than the fact that our silly asses think it's a separatism. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers all don't give a fuck about us. But what I will say this, in the last 3, 4, 5 years here with Trump and these damn Democrats, Trump showed us, even though through the fuckery, right? There was some fuckery. We all can say that. But Trump is allowing motherfuckers to get businesses. And that's what I like. Let me motherfucking be able to go self-sufficient like Elijah Muhammad told us. Let me be able to start me a business and motherfucking put my all in it and become the next millionaire or billionaire, because we can do that. We have done that. But all this let's motherfucking wait for a handout Democratic shit. Let's stay on welfare for 50 fucking years. And there's some women that got fucking Hall of Fame careers because they've been on welfare for 50 fucking years. You should only be on welfare 5. Lazy motherfucker.
Oh, fuck no. Hell no.
So that's my point.
Oh, fuck no.
Was I like that in the beginning in my 20s? No. I was just fucking following along like all blacks do. I was following along. My grandma was Democrat. I'm a Democrat. I said this the other day. A lot of these motherfuckers that be talking that politics shit, they don't even know why they're a Democrat. Stop talking that shit. Tell me why the fuck you a Democrat is what I be saying to motherfuckers. Otherwise, I'm trying to motherfucking be self-sufficient. I don't give a fuck about neither one of them groups. And that's just me. But only in America, a motherfucker can be tax evasion, telling women to grab them by the pussy. And excuse our French here, y'all, but like I said, this is part social hour and it's part of cultural hour today on this Sunday. But only in America, a motherfucker can do that shit and still run for president, and motherfuckers will turn the other cheek. The old media will. All them motherfuckers will. And they'll get us to talking about Kyrie and Kanye, who I love both of those brothers. And, you know, and I salute both of them. I ain't turning my neck. I ain't turning my head. I ain't walking away from my brothers. We don't do that shit at Coffee Talk, and that's why we didn't do it with Griner. But yeah, man. I guess that's our talk on the presidential elections. Look like you smoking some good. And
Hey, that movie's still available on Amazon. The movie's still available. How
no
come
doubt.
Jeff Bezos didn't get? How come Jeff Bezos didn't get He didn't get canceled, and he's making all the money.
No,
Priorities are fucked up in the neighborhood. Very fucked up. And
no
I'm not burning shit I paid for. It got me fucked up. I'll get that shit away before I burn some motherfucking shoes, some
doubt.
motherfucking clothes. None of that shit. That's some ignorant shit.
Right, no
That's just
doubt.
my 2 cents.
No doubt. I think with that, it's good. It's good in a sense because you get to see what motherfuckers is like, man. You know, I mean, burning some Nikes after some motherfucker just got done spending $150 on them. No, don't do that shit. You wear them goddamn Nikes. Shoes are too hard to come by in this era. I know some kids buy shoes and resell them. There's resellers out here, but no, you don't burn shit because of two motherfuckers, man. Even though I support Kyrie, but yeah, the shit is still being sold on Amazon. I plan on getting a documentary because I like to have my library cool, so I'm gonna definitely get it and check it out. That has definitely been on my short list when we go shopping or whatever. But I want to say this, man. So you good? Everything's good with you?
Perfect.
No doubt, no
I'm
doubt,
breathing.
no doubt, no doubt. So yeah, man, I just want to say to all our viewers, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, and go ahead and leave your thoughts on the night. Definitely share the video. Definitely subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube on y'all's big 70-inch TVs and shit. Go ahead and subscribe, man, because we definitely want to have you here at Coffee Talk Podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to do,
Oh shit.
I'm gonna get ready to do the last part of the show, man. If you want to stay on, you're definitely invited to do that. We're gonna go ahead and go into chapter 5 of 48 Laws of Power. It's just really a short read. I think it's like 2 minutes, but it's gonna definitely talk about some things. It's the chapter is called Concentrate Your Forces. And we're going to definitely go in that. So if you got to go, King, I'm going to go ahead and release you. But if you want to stay on for the next 3 minutes or so, I'm going to go into this reading real quick. And we definitely can politic on that if you want to do that. What you want to do? Okay. No doubt. All right. So as you all know here at Coffee Talk Podcast, part of our cultural studies night is we always give props to our culture. You know what I'm saying? And in this case, we're giving props to the fact of the science of strategy, right? Because that's what the book 48 Laws of Power is about. And I'm gonna show the book first, and then we're gonna go into the chapter. It's real short, y'all. I know y'all have short attention spans, so we're gonna go ahead and get it in. But I'm gonna show the book 48 Laws of Power, by author Robert Greene, and we're gonna start. It says concentrate our forces. We're gonna talk about what it is real quick, and then we're gonna read that last 2 pages and be done. But concentrate your forces means, or the judgment of that is, conserve your forces and energies by keeping them concentrated at their strongest point. You gain more by finding a rich mine and mining it deeper than by filtering with one shallow mine to another. Intensity defeats extensity every time. When looking for sources of power to elevate you, find the one key Patreon, the fat cow, who will give you milk for a long time to come. So think about that. Let's go ahead and jump right in. It's called the Keys to Power. Concentrate your forces, right? Here we go. The world is plagued. Actually, I'm going to turn the light on, y'all, a little bit more so I can see this. I really want y'all to hear this because it's important. Hold on. All right, here we go. Welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, Cultural Variety Podcast Show. All right, so here we go. The world is plagued by greater and greater division within countries, political groups, families, even individuals. We are all in a state of total distraction and diffusion, hardly able to keep our minds in one direction before we are pulled in 1,000 others. The modern world's level of conflict is higher than ever, and we have internalized it in our own lives. The solution is a form of retreat inside ourselves, to the past, to more concentrated forms of thought and action. As Schopenhauer wrote, intellect is a magnitude of intensity, not a magnitude of extensity. Napoleon knew the value of concentrating your forces at the enemy's weakest spot. It was the secret of his success on the battlefield. But his willpower and his mind were equally modeled on this notion. Single-mindedness of purpose and total concentration on the goal, and the use of these qualities against people less focused, people in a state of distraction, such an arrow will find its mark every time and overwhelm the enemy. What he's saying is if you're focusing on your target or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, if you can avoid the distractions, you're going to hit your mark every time. Casanova attributed his success in life to his ability to concentrate on a single goal and push at it until it yielded. It was his ability to give himself over completely to the women he desired that made him so intensely seductive. For the few weeks or months that one of these women lived in his orbit, he thought of no one else. When he was imprisoned in the treacherous leads of the doggy's place in Venice, a prison from which no one had ever escaped, he concentrated his mind on the single goal of escape. Day after day, a change of cells, which meant that months of digging had been for naught. But that did not discourage him. He persisted and eventually escaped. I have always believed, he later wrote, that when a man gets into his head to do something, and when he exclusively occupies himself in that design, he must succeed, whatever the difficulties. That man will become the Grand Vizier or the Pope. This is Casanova talking. Concentrate on a single goal, a single task, and beat it into submission. In the world of power, you will constantly need help from other people, usually those more powerful than you. The fool flirts with one person to another, believing that he will survive by spreading himself out. It is a corollary of the law of concentration. However, that much energy is saved and more power is attained by affixing yourself to a single appropriate source of power. The scientist Nikola Tesla ruined himself by believing that he somehow maintained his independence by not having to serve a single master. He even turned down J.P. Morgan, who offered him a rich contract. In the end, Tesla's independence meant that he could depend on no single patron, but was always having to toady up to a dozen of them. Later in his life, he realized his mistake. I'm going to say that in simple terms so you to understand that point. When you start to want to do this, you want your hand in this, and this, you spread thin. When you stay grounded and focus on one simple thing at a time, you're going to bring much more success. And that's what is being said here, and how Nikola Tesla learned. What ruined him was that he had his hand in every different direction. He was doing so much different stuff, and he didn't keep his mind on obtaining the goals that he wanted to do. All the great Renaissance painters and writers wrestled with this problem, none more so than the 16th century writer Pedro Artino. Throughout his life, Artino suffered the indigenous of having to please this prince and that. At last, he had enough and decided to woo Charles V, promising the emperor the services of his powerful pen. He finally discovered the freedom that came from attachment to a single source of power. Michelangelo found this freedom with Pope Julius II. Galileo with Medicis. In the end, the single patron appreciates your loyalty and becomes dependent on your services. In the long run, the master serves the slave. Finally, power itself always exists in concentrated forms. In any organization, it is inevitable for a small group to hold the strings. And often it is not those with the titles. In the game of power, only the fool frails about without fixing his target. You must find out who controls the operations, who is the real director behind the scenes. As Richalo discovered at the beginning of his rise to the top of the French political scene during the early 17th century, it was not King Louis XIII who decided things, it was the king's mother. And so he attached himself to her and catapulted through the ranks of the courtiers all the way to the top. It is enough to strike oil once. Your wealth and power are assured for a lifetime. That is the keys to power when we're talking about concentrate on your forces. Concentrate on your forces. All right. Now let's talk about the opposite of that in this story as we get ready to end our show. Here's the reverse of that. There are dangers in concentration and moments when dispersion is the proper tactical move. Fighting the nationalists for control of China, Mao Zedong and the communists fought a protracted war on several fronts, using sabotage and ambush as their main weapons. Dispersal is often suitable for the weaker side. It is, in fact, a crucial principle of guerrilla warfare. When fighting a stronger army, concentrating your forces only makes you an easier target. Better to dissolve into the scenery and frustrate your enemy with the elusiveness of your presence. Tying yourself to a single source of power has one preeminent danger. If that person dies, leaves, or falls from grace, you suffer. This is what happened to Caesar Borgia, who derived his power from his father, Pope Alexander VI. It was the Pope who gave Caesar armies to fight with and wars to wage in his name. When he suddenly died, perhaps from poison, Caesar was good as dead. He had made far too many enemies over the years and was now without his father's protection. In cases when you may need protection, then it is often wise to intertwine yourself around several sources of power. Such a move would be especially prudent in periods of great tumult and violent change, or when the enemies are numerous. The more patrons and masters you serve, the less risk you run if one of them falls from power. Such dispersion will even allow you to play one off against the other. Even if you concentrate on a single source of power, you still must practice caution and prepare for the day when your master or patron is no longer there to help you. Finally, being too single-minded in purpose can make you an intolerable bore, especially in the arts. The Renaissance painter Palio Uccello was so obsessed with perspective that his paintings look lifeless and contrived, whereas Leonardo da Vinci interested himself in everything: architecture, painting, warfare, sculpture, mechanics. Diffusion was the source of his power, but such genius is rare, and the rest of us are better off erring on the side of intensity. This is the 48 Laws of Power. This is Chapter 5. Concentrate your forces, here on Coffee Talk Podcast. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. Thank you for staying with us for that hour. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. We're going to go ahead and end the show. We just want to say thank you. You got a great show today. Let us know how you feel on a scale of 1 through 10. Let us know how you feel, man, with 1 being subpar and 10 being you're feeling great. Go ahead, 1 through 10. Leave a comment, because we love to hear from you. And, share and definitely subscribe. This is Coffee Talk Podcast. I am your host, Mishumaa Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast show. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight.